video, we're going to be working to solve a system of equations using row echelon form. Now, if this is the first time you are seeing my face, hi, my name is Dr. Marissa May. I'm on a mission to help students feel confident in their math classes. And please make sure this is not the last time that you see my face by hitting that like and subscribe button. That way you get a notification every time a new video is posted. And this resource is just one of the tools I use to help students understand and feel more confident. If there is something that another class or another topic, please feel free to leave me a comment below. I would love the opportunity to help in any way that I can. For this video, we are going to be working with a system of equations. We're looking to get to that row echelon form. I'm also going to show you how to do the problem by hand, and then I'll back it up with some technology at the end. Now, let's clarify what row echelon form looks like. So row echelon form is a matrix where the main diagonal in the matrix has all ones in it. Then you also have zeros in the lower half of the matrix. And then you could, and I'm going to do this with pencil because I want to show you what I'm doing with it here. You could have a number, a number, a number, a number, a number, a number for the remaining elements in that matrix. Okay? That would be called row echelon form. Now, if all those number symbols were zeros, except for these, so if these three here were all zeros, then you would have what's called reduced row echelon form. That we'll use that later. Right now, we're just looking for row echelon form. So to begin with, we start with an augmented matrix. Now, an augmented matrix is where you take the coefficients of each of the variables here along with the constants. Couple of things to note. One, make sure your variables are in the same order in each equation. That's very important. Also, if any variables are missing, you have to have a zero for a placeholder for that variable. So keep that in mind when you make your augmented matrix. We'll start just by using those coefficients. All right, now when you work to get row echelon form, the best thing to do is to get the 1 first, then work on getting these zeros, then get a 1, then the 0, then a 1. Work in that order. It tends to be a little bit easier. I'm going to grab another colored pen here. All right. Now, there's a couple of things you can do to a row. You can multiply it by a number. You can add it to another row. So what I'm going to do to get the 1 here is I'm going to multiply row 1. Since all of those are even, I'm going to multiply this first row by 1/2. Now what I'm doing here is just making a note for myself what I did so that when I come back to it, I can definitely look through my notes and go, oh yeah, that's what I did to that step. I don't have to show that, but it makes a little bit better sense. So that means I'm going to be leaving rows 2 and row 3 alone. I'm only making changes to row 1. So we multiply by half, we get 1, 3, -2, and 4. So we got the 1 in place. Okay. Next, we're going to get the 0 in place here. So I'm going to have to multiply row 1 by -3 and then add it to row 2. So that means we're leaving row 1 alone. We're leaving row 3 alone. And row 2, we will get, we're going to multiply row 1 by -3, and we're going to add it to row 2. Now, I talk it through just so you know. I'm going to take row 1. I'm going to multiply by -3 to give me -3. I'm going to add it to 3. It will give me 0. Row 1 multiplied by -3 gives me -9 plus 10 gives me 1. Row 1 multiplied by -3 gives me 6 plus -7 gives me -1. And then negative 3 times 4 gives me negative 12 plus 12 is 0. Okay, so now we've got our 1 and our 0, and we got lucky too and got the 1 there. Now I just need a 0 here, a 0 there, and a 1 there. So let's work on the 0 here. That means I'm going to leave rows 1 and 2 alone. And I'm going to get row 3. Let's see, I'll multiply row 1 by 2, and I'm going to add it to row 3. So 2 times 1 is 2, plus negative 2 gives me the 0. 2 times 3 is 6. Add to negative 6 gives me 0 as well. Negative 2 times 2 is 4. I'm sorry, negative 4 plus 5 is positive 1. And 2 times 4 is 8, plus negative 3 gives me 5. So look at what I have. I have my 1s in the main diagonal, my 0s below. This is now in row echelon form. Now, here's how I then can take out my solutions. Once I'm in row echelon form, start at the bottom. Remember, this column were the coefficients from x1. Remember how we started? So this means 0x1 plus 0x2 plus 1x3 equals 5. We know now that x3 equals 5. Okay, look at your second row. We're working from the bottom up. So your second row says 0x1 plus 1x2 minus 1x3 equals 0. Now put your x3 being 5, and you get that x2 also is 5. Now, again, working from the bottom up, we're now at the top. Take your equation there would be x1 plus 3x2 minus 2x3 equals 4. Make your substitutions for the variables that you know. 3 times 5 minus 2 times 5 equals 4. So it's 15 minus 10 is 5. So you got x1 plus 5 equals 4. So x1 equals negative 1. So you get your solution negative 1, 5, 5. Now, when I go to the technology, the technology does not get row echelon form. The technology gets reduced row echelon form. So let me show you what I mean. I'm going to put in this augmented matrix in the matrix calculator. So I'm going to do a new matrix. It is a 3-row, 4-column. I'll put in those values. There we go. Now, when you press enter here, I want you to look in the bottom left-hand corner. You see the RREF. That stands for Reduced Row Echelon Form. And then you have to tell it the name of the matrix you want reduced row echelon form. There you are. And I want you to look at reduced row echelon form. You actually look at that far right column, and it's telling you the solutions right there. So the beauty of reduced row echelon form is without those extra numbers there, you don't have to do the back substitution like we had to do here. You can look at that far right column. Those are your solutions. So I hope this helps when you're working with reduced row echelon form. Doing it by hand, you definitely can see how the rows reduce, but the technology also can check your work. So feel free to use any of those. I hope this video helped. Thanks so much for watching. Bye for now.